Good afternoon, Dr. Roberts. Joe Casale here. I wanted to provide this video for you as a supplement to the paper I'll be submitting for my final thesis statement. I wanted to sit down with our Garrison chaplain here to discuss the thesis question, and I'd like to introduce you to Lt.Col Shackelford from Garrison Chaplain here at Picatinny Arsenal.
How are you, sir? Good to meet you.
He'll be answering the question for me, sir, and I hope you enjoy and sit back and enjoy this this interview, and it's to your liking. So let's start the interview. Colonel Shackelford, thank you so much for taking the time today to answer the question I provide you. Is there any questions before we start the interview, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, great. All right, so Colonel Shackelford, I asked you a question based on religious influence on executive leadership and U.S. government. Could you give me your insight about that?
For chaplains, there is a law requirement based on Title 10, which talks about the free exercise of religion. And so for any chaplain in the Army, in regards to government service, there's going to be that need and requirement to provide religious support, to provide free access to religious support, and Title 10 requirements prohibits any kind of discrimination based on a specific faith, based on a specific religious group. So the chaplain's job is to provide that support as needed.
Okay, all right. Now, speaking as a chaplain for the entire, base here, you get a lot of parishioners in here of different faiths, and they take that, that faith back to their family. How do you think that influences the rest of their family and the rest of their ideology as far as political leanings or political ideas?
Well, in terms of providing that religious support for DOD employees, I would say that if we can't perform a certain set of religious functions, that we would want to provide someone that could support in that. So it's basically the concept of perform or provide. Okay. So again, that's the requirement that we have in terms of maintaining the executive support.
Okay, all right. Have you noticed a change in your parishioners as far as their speeches or anything they've talked to you about as far as anything to do with politics or how the country's run at all?
No.
Okay. All right. I think my last question for you, Chaplain, is given the current climate of our country right now and our leadership, do you think in the future that religious influence will change at all, or that there'll be any kind of I'm trying to think of the right words to say. Any change in policy or any change in in favor of one or the other, or given the the current climate we're in right now.
When you're dealing with religion, you're dealing with a diversity of ideologies and approaches to understanding the eternal, to understanding God. There are many approaches to that, and that's extremely important to have that freedom to exercise that religion. There's no religion that's better than the other. There's no religion that needs to be the definition of success when it comes to religion, because that's a very broad subject, and you have lots of people that have religious interest in different areas.
Okay.
And the mission for the chaplain is to provide that support as much as possible.
Okay. All right. I think that's all I have for you today, Colonel Shackelford. Thank you so much for meeting with me. I appreciate it, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Roberts, that concludes our interview with the chaplain. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much, sir.